Could your phone be putting your money at risk? In my prophetic dream, I saw vulnerabilities that could threaten your wealth. Here's what you need to know. Hey, I'm Marcus, and back in June, I had two dreams in one night, both related to the security of our phones and our finances. If you have a phone or a bank account, which I'm positive about 100% of you watching do, then you may want to pay attention. I'll, of course, share the dreams. I'll also share confirmations of what I saw in those dreams. And finally, I'll give you some practical tips on how to protect yourself from the threats in those dreams. So, as you can see, I had these dreams on June 4th this year. So, here's the first one. This morning, I dreamt that I was at some type of gathering with familiar people in the dream. These aren't people who are familiar in real life, but in the dream, they felt familiar. However, at one point, I put my phone down on the table, and when I came back to it, it had been stolen. I didn't think my Find My iPhone app was enabled, but later on, I realized it was. I was able to see where my phone was and even able to see that whoever had it now had taken pictures with it. I recognized a man in the pictures who was at the gathering. So I walked up to the man and I asked him who took that picture of him, and I showed him the pictures. He said Nicole took the pictures, who was apparently his sister in law, who was only about 30 feet away from us. So I walked up to Nicole and she already knew why I was approaching her, and she handed over my phone. She was laying down with her husband, and I just said, "Thank you for my phone," and walked away. So in the dream, I was at a gathering with people who I knew, which can indicate a perception of safety. And I felt comfortable putting my phone down on the table and walking away from it. Again, this can signal trust in my environment and being unguarded. But when the phone was stolen, it revealed a vulnerability. Now, the fact that the Find My iPhone app was enabled was to my benefit. But when you think about it, it wasn't supposed to be enabled. I thought it was disabled, meaning it was supposed to be disabled, but it was enabled, meaning the tracking capabilities on that phone was enabled. And then the fact that through that app, I could actually see the pictures that had been taken with the phone can allude to tracking, spyware, these things that have the potential to go on in a compromised device. But then also notice the kind of indirect way I was able to get to the source of who stole my phone. First, I had to look through another device, through an application that was connected to my device. Then I had to go to a third party, if you will, another person, not the person who directly took my device, but somebody else connected to that person. And then that's what led me to the source. Now, the action of me retrieving my phone without confrontation can signify a passive attitude towards the security of my phone. So, this could be an encouragement or an instruction to be more proactive in securing my device, not just physically, but digitally as well. So, even in seemingly safe and familiar environments, these threats and these risks still exist. So, I believe that this dream alludes to threats such as spyware on our phones, tracking, things of this nature. And of course, if your device that you trade all your cryptocurrency on, you access your bank accounts, so on and so forth, is compromised, then the bad guys have access to your money. And if you have any doubts about my dream signifying this, let me share with you a second dream I had the very same night. So the note says, later I had another dream where it seemed like I was being warned to cut off any access to my bank account by third party applications. I was being told in the dream that thieves could siphon money out of the account through these third party app connections. There was also a point where I was seeing the Motorola symbol, which caused me to wake up and research the symbolism behind Motorola and their logo. The Motorola part of the dream was also connected to security and protecting yourself. During my research, I found that Motorola seems to now be owned by a China based company, Lenovo. So, if the first dream was a little too symbolic and metaphorical, well, in this dream, I was just directly being told, hey, disconnect your bank account from these third party applications. Now, as you've probably seen before, this is the Motorola logo and it is referred to as the bat wing. And well, if you know about biblical symbolism, bats are unclean and symbolically they can represent the demonic, evil spirits, so on and so forth, right? That's why in popular culture or mythology we see vampires turning into bats, this, that, and the other. So the bat symbolism, this Motorola symbol connected to the bat wing, is nothing positive. Now, after I had this dream, I did share it. Well, I made a community tab post. I said, I had a series of dreams this morning concerning cybersecurity, specifically with phones. I hope to get a video out on it soon. Here we are, nearly 6 months later, but here we are. For now, consider disconnecting any third party apps from your bank account, such as your crypto exchanges, Cash App, etc. All right. Now, if you're not subscribed to my channel, just understand that I do post a lot on the community tab. So if you want to make sure you get these posts and you stay up to date in between video postings, just click the subscribe button down below. Now, a couple of months ago, I met with a security expert within the community, and they confirmed to me that it is, in fact, possible for hackers to take money from your bank account through a third party application that is connected to that bank account. And hopefully, these platforms that you're using have strong security measures. But the fact is, the possibility is there. And if the Holy Spirit is warning of it through a dream, then it's something to pay attention to. Now, that same security expert also confirmed the Lenovo connection to Motorola in my dream. Better yet, I should say the dangers of using Lenovo devices. Again, in my dream, I saw Motorola and I was being warned about Motorola, and Motorola is owned by Lenovo. CCP stands for the Chinese Communist Party. So it says, and this is just a year ago. It says Chairman Mike Gallagher of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party wrote to the CEO of the U.S. Navy Exchange requesting the removal of CCP linked Lenovo products from the discounted marketplace available to service members. Lenovo is a Chinese technology company with extensive ties to the People's Liberation Army and the CCP's state directed espionage campaigns. Lenovo's largest shareholder is the Chinese government. Now, I mean, the confirmation is always amazing because I didn't know any of this. I don't know anything about Lenovo. The last time I was even interested in having a Motorola phone, I was probably in high school. I don't even know. But I mean, they're still making phones to this day. And some of y'all watching this might actually have a Motorola phone or a Lenovo computer in your home right now. It says currently the US Navy Exchange offers at least 10 CCP linked Lenovo computer and IT products. In the letter, Chairman Gallagher writes, the exchange should not be selling Lenovo products to U.S. service members, let alone incentivizing such purchases with tax free, discounted prices. Doing so creates a major cybersecurity threat and undermines the U.S. Department of Defense's 2023 cyber strategy, which commits to fostering a culture of cybersecurity and cyber awareness. Now, this security expert that I spoke to worked for an organization where they decided to get rid of all their Lenovo products because of this reason. And again, Lenovo owns Motorola. Chairman Gallagher cited the Pentagon's 2016 warning that Lenovo computers could introduce compromised hardware into the Defense Department. In 2018, the FTC also cautioned that Lenovo installed software on US bound computers that created serious security vulnerabilities. So there's the real world confirmation of what I saw in the spirit in my dreams back in June. Now, for the last confirmation, I'm going to share the very end of a video that was shared with me recently, probably not even for the reasons that I'm making this video, but I caught this little part at the very end, which once again confirmed what I saw in my dream, which some of you may have not taken seriously when I made that post earlier in the year. Now, this is from a channel, God's Algorithm. I had never heard of this channel before. This video was just shared with me maybe 2 weeks ago at most.
Okay, guys, there are people who have had dreams about specific apps that were hacked. Um, and it wasn't just the apps that were hacked. People's bank accounts ended up being hacked because of these loopholes through these apps. So, guys, I just want to bring that awareness to you guys of, these backdoors and these loopholes that that are there that the majority of society is not aware about. So when this thing happens, people are just going to be completely outraged and just surprised because they were never informed.
But that won't be you because you're being informed right now, right? I mean, how amazing is that? I had never seen that video. I had this dream back in June. These third-party apps that are connected to your bank account have these backdoors, have these loopholes that hackers can siphon money. This is exactly what I heard in my dream. They can siphon money out of your bank account through these third-party apps. And you saw in the picture, you saw a Cash App there that I mentioned in my community post. You saw these banking apps. You saw PayPal, right? Exchanges count as well, crypto exchanges, anything that your bank account is connected to. So let's talk about some practical tips. What should you do? Well, first of all, I think when I made the post, somebody may have asked me, how do I disconnect, right? You can either go to your online banking site and disconnect that way. There should be an option in the settings for you to look at connections. It may be called connections or third party connections, something along those lines. You can see what's connected that way and disconnect. And you can also just go directly to the applications that you know are connected. Again, Cash App, crypto exchanges, right? PayPal, Stripe, payment processors such as Stripe, such as MoonPay, these third-party processors that you use to buy crypto on these wallets. Now, that's not the only way to go about this. You can set up a bank account that you only use to send money to these third-party applications. So whenever you're not transferring money, that bank account stays empty. And when you're ready to send money somewhere else to an exchange, for example, you transfer from your main bank account into that empty bank account that you only use for transfers, right? You can do something like that as well. Some of you may feel like it's a pain in the butt to disconnect your bank account from these applications because now when you want to withdraw or deposit crypto on an exchange, you got to go back through the process of connecting your bank account. But what's more inconvenient? Having to do one extra step anytime you want to deposit or withdraw, or having your whole bank account drained? One thing I've learned about security is, yeah, it takes a little more effort, right? Again, in my dream, I had this passive approach to securing my phone, which put me in danger. Another option to help protect your devices would be something like a Faraday bag, right? We were recently talking about this in the Discord server. Faraday bags will block RFID signals from hitting whatever is in the protective casing of the bag. And you can even have stronger protection that can protect from an EMP blast. Here's the Discord server. We got the security channel here. And we were talking about Faraday bags last week. I actually even did a little review
about some Faraday pouches a couple of days ago based on the discussion in the Discord.
All right, so I even did a review on some Faraday pouches that I bought myself. The channel Discord server is part of the member section, so if you're interested in joining the Discord server, just join the channel membership down below. And I will also post a link in the description down below for these Faraday bags that I bought. When I did test them, they did work. And so if you're interested in just getting the ones that I got, now, are they strong enough to protect against an EMP? Probably not. You may have to look a little further for that type of protection. But protecting against an RFID signal, these scammers, these criminals, if you will, have these devices where they'll skim your device just through the RFID signal, if they can get close enough or get within range to you. And lastly, the common sense protection is to avoid devices from the companies that I talked about. Motorola was in my dream, and Motorola is owned by Lenovo. So avoid these companies, but also be mindful of where your devices, period, come from. Oh, that's not the last thing. The last thing, if funds allow, have a separate phone for you to take out in public that doesn't have all your sensitive information loaded on it, doesn't have your money, access to your money on it, just has the bare minimums. You take that out in public just in case you lose it, just in case something bad happens, God forbid. But your sensitive things are safe. Your money is safe, your information, your identity, etc., is safe. I have a handful of videos that I want to make, more like two handfuls of videos that I want to make immediately. But this video you're watching now was selected to be made first through a poll in the member section. So go ahead and join, contribute to the community. We have over 200 channel members. So the general theme is to make sure your devices are protected digitally and physically. Share this video with someone who may benefit, who needs to hear it. I mean, everybody will benefit unless the person you're thinking of is already a security expert. And if you want to keep up with the prophetic insights that I continuously share on this channel, subscribe down below. Stay vigilant and proactive in protecting your wealth and your well-being. Be blessed.